All right, anime fam, today we're diving into another world. Literally. These are the top isekai anime that will hook you from episode 1, where power fantasies, chaos, and unforgettable characters collide. Buckle up, it's portal time. Kicking off with number 6, Overlord. All right, gamers, what happens when your favorite MMORPG shuts down, but you don't log out? Boom, you get stuck in it, living your best undead life like Ain's Ual Gown, the baddest skeleton to ever run a guild. Overlord doesn't waste time with confusion. Dude immediately goes full I am the supreme ruler mode. And honestly, respect. Ain's is that one player who grinds way too hard, memorizes every stat, and still says GG after annihilating you. But what makes this series hook you fast isn't just his power, it's the world building. Every NPC feels alive, the setting feels real, and the twist that he's the scary one in this world is just chef-level brilliant. Plus, the dark humor? Elite. You've got this polite, overpowered skeleton doing savage stuff like vaporizing armies while apologizing. Bro's like, forgive me for being superior. Meanwhile, we're just sitting there cheering him on like villains in training. If you love that MC too strong, yet still humble bragging energy, Overlord delivers that and a side of moral chaos. Sliding to number 5, Sword Art Online. Oh boy. The one that started wars in the anime community. You either love Sword Art Online, or you've made it your life's mission to roast it on Reddit. But admit it, that first episode? Peak hook material. Kirito logs in, realizes death in the game means death IRL, and suddenly every gamer's worst nightmare becomes reality. SAO takes what we dreamed about, living inside a video game, and makes it absolutely terrifying. And somehow thrilling. Kirito might be the original black coat, dual-wielding emo swordsman, but he's also the blueprint for every modern isekai MC who walks around acting like they're too cool for emotions. And Asuna. She carried the show harder than Kirito carried every raid team. Sure, later seasons went off the rails. Sword fights turned into space politics, but those early Aincrad arcs? Unmatched. The tension, the music, that cliffhanger ending in episode 1? Hooked faster than your Wi-Fi disconnecting during boss fights. Love it or hate it, SAO's first few episodes defined isekai hype, and we all owe it that guilty nostalgia credit, even if we act too cool to admit it. Landing on number 4, No Game, No Life. Now this is the visual cocaine of isekai. Every frame of No Game, No Life looks like someone cranked the saturation slider to 500%, and I'm here for it. Meet Sora and Shiro, step-siblings who are literally undefeated gamers. They get transported to a world where every conflict is solved through games. No wars, no weapons, just brains, bluffing, and wild anime logic. The first episode hooks you immediately with its pace, color, and that moment where they outsmart a literal god. Like, bro, who does that before lunch? And the humor? Gold. The banter between Sora and Shiro is part genius, part unhinged sibling energy. These two act like they've never seen sunlight, and that's part of the charm. Watching them outwit kingdoms, flirt with danger, and flex their IQ is just addictive. But yeah, it's been years and we still don't have a season 2. Madhouse really left us hanging like, we gave you brilliance, now suffer. Still, episode 1 alone grabs you by the eyeballs and doesn't let go. If style, wit, and chaos had an anime baby, it'd be No Game, No Life. Looking at number 3, the Eminence in Shadow. Oh, now we're getting into the meta zone. The Eminence in Shadow is what happens when an isekai parody becomes so self-aware, it circles back to being legendary. Our boy Sid Kaganu doesn't want to be a hero or a villain, he just wants to pretend he's pulling strings in the shadows. But plot twist. His made-up story about an evil cult? Yeah, it's actually real. This man is LARPing his way through destiny and somehow winning. The first episode is a masterpiece of tone whiplash. 1 minute you're watching edgy vigilante training arcs, next thing you know, he gets truck-cunned into a new world like it's Tuesday. And then, he becomes Shadow, leading a secret organization by accident. Sid's whole vibe screams, what if Batman was delusional but also right? The comedy lands because he's so serious about being mysterious, and everyone around him treats him like a god. It's hilarious, stylish, and somehow brilliant storytelling. But trust me, number 3, it'll mess with your head in the best way possible. Dropping to number 2, The Beginning After the End. Now here's a twist. The Beginning After the End isn't your typical Japanese anime. It started as a web novel turned manhwa, and it's honestly one of the cleanest isekai setups ever. King Gray dies, reborn into a fantasy world full of magic, dragons, and politics. Except this time, he's not just trying to survive, he's trying to live better. It's isekai with depth. From episode 1, or chapter 1 if you've read it, you instantly feel this mix of rebirth, regret, and raw ambition. Arthur Lewin, our MC, is what you get when you combine Ains's brain, Kirito's determination, and Subaru's trauma, but with better hair. He's strong, yeah, but the story balances it with real emotional beats. Family, purpose, and what it means to start over. And the art? Gorgeous. The pacing? Perfect. It's one of those rare series that hooks you not with chaos, but with heart. You'll be like, okay, one more episode, and suddenly it's 3 a.m. and you're rethinking your life choices. The beginning after the end proves that isekai doesn't have to be goofy to be powerful. Sometimes a quiet rebirth hits harder than a god-tier power-up. Finally, number 1, The Rising of the Shield Hero. Ah yes, Shield Hero. The anime that said, let's take your average isekai power fantasy and emotionally traumatize the MC immediately. Naofumi gets summoned with 3 other heroes: sword, spear, bow, and shield. Yeah, he literally drew the short weapon. Then, boom, betrayed, framed, and hated by everyone in episode 1. Like, can the man breathe? But that's what hooks you. It's not the overpowered flexing. It's watching Naofumi rise from rock bottom with nothing but pure spite and strategy. That first episode? Easily one of the best openers in modern isekai. It sets the emotional tone perfectly. You feel his anger, frustration, and eventual determination. Then comes Raphtalia. Best girl. Period. Their bond carries the show harder than Naofumi carries his shield. And when he finally gets that redemption arc rolling, goosebumps. Sure, the pacing stumbles later, but the emotional roller coaster of episode 1? Instant hook. It's painful, powerful, and deeply satisfying watching the underdog flip the entire world's narrative against him. Naofumi went from most hated bits to most respected. And honestly, that's an arc we can all cheer for. And that wraps up our journey through the wildest worlds that'll grab you from episode 1. From skeleton overlords to shadow geniuses, these isekai never miss. But which one had you glued to the screen first? Drop your pick in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe. Because next time, we're diving even deeper into the multiverse.